Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So this will be my third video in my jewelry vlog series. So I'll be working and talking about subjects I enjoy. This is a gents ring I'm working on. I already created the onyx, or what would be the onyx, and then the structure of it. So I'm pretty happy with it. But I just thought I'd bring everybody along and they can watch as I work, but I can just talk about subjects that I like to listen to or enjoy as well. Because sometimes I can get a little too technical with all the little details about my projects. But so I guess I'm just right now thinking about how am I going to apply the design on the sides, and then also the stones it's going to hit right in the middle of it. And so I had it at 14 millimeters, but I was thinking maybe 12, just because maybe it was just a little too wide. So kind of debating which one would probably be better. But so yeah, I like the inside of it. It's going pretty good. So other than horror, like this is probably my favorite genre of entertainment, but the other like types of, I guess, genre I enjoy that's not really like movies mostly, but like mostly books, is the self-improvement or self-development. And I really enjoy those a lot more. I guess I always like looking for ways to like, oh, what could I improve in my life, or like, what can I do better? Or although sometimes I listen to it too much, just because probably that's the main subject I listen to on YouTube. And sometimes it feels like, it gets to be like, like when you try and improve like a lot of things at once or whatever, it gets to be a bit draining or overwhelming. But I just have to, I guess, take one thing I learn and just try to apply it. So I learned a lot about habits and habit stacking and time blocking and how that works. But what I thought was the most, I guess, I don't know, life-changing advice I've listened to, and that I've yet to find more videos about this, but the test you have to do is really about, you manage your energy, but not your time. I mean, at the workplace, you have a certain amount of time you have to get it done no matter what. But outside of that, you're more productive when you manage your energy. And that's something I'm still like figuring out. Because whenever I try to manage my time, I've tried, so many different ways. I would just be like, I'm just too tired at this specific time to do what I want to do or what I should be doing. And then I don't do it. And I don't really follow through with so many of my goals that I've set out for myself, even short-term goals. But try to improve habits and things like that, and eat healthier and sleep better and all those basics. But managing my energy has definitely been, I'm not like where I want to be, not by a long shot, but it definitely has made things a lot easier. So I realized I guess what I'm trying to say is, as long as I work out in the evening, but like early evening, I tend to do better. When it gets up to about 10 at night, then it's like a little too late. Because, well, when you work out just too late, it's just not good. But it's actually better to work out the evenings, because you're just, something to do with like the morning. Sometimes it jump starts the system a little too rapidly or something. Well, that's just my words, but I don't remember the science behind it. But that's definitely a little easier for me to do that small workouts in the evening. So, and the other self-improvement stuff I've been getting into is just like, well, how to incorporate a little bit more discipline, which is definitely the most popular one. So I've been listening to this book on willpower, and I've been meaning to read it forever, honestly. But There's some interesting tests around they've done based on people's willpower. Now, willpower is quite remarkable in like the instance of survival. Like I also enjoy listening to survival stories. Like this willpower is amazing. Like it really is. However, it's for some reason it seems like willpower is good for special circumstances or, like I said, survival situations, but for day to day, it's very finite. But I do believe that we should always try to increase our willpower, like our day to day basis. But the thing is, our willpower doesn't, on like a good day or just on a normal day when things are not like terrible or whatever, it definitely has a very finite amount of time or energy to continue. And I guess what I'm trying to say is like, it's not that useful, like not useful. It's not that helpful just to rely on it, I realized. And especially with all the tests that they've run over like measuring people's willpower. Now, what I noticed, like with people that diet, the more successful people that I guess are watching like certain foods that they eat, if they say no to a sweet treat, they'll end up eating it later because it puts too much pressure on themselves and then they can't stop thinking about it. And with the others, if they said, oh, I'll have it later, it just takes the pressure off. And those people are not necessarily dieting, but they kind of combine both people that are doing that and not. Then they combine people that diet, and then they all right. And then when they say no to something, it just, at the end, it kind of, the willpower drains quicker. So when you keep promising something later, then you think, you kind of look forward to it, but like not so much that you can't stop thinking about it. And then you have to distract yourself with other things. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. And so the other favorite book I've been reading, or I already read last year, and it really changed my life, honestly. It was called Atomic Habits. And that book mostly described, well, it's all about habits, obviously, but I always enjoy like reading and watching people that are like the best in their fields and all the types of ways that they do their practice and how they are able to stay on top and be the best. So with that book, one thing, James Clear, that's the author, he says that if it takes 2 minutes or less, then do it. But if it doesn't, you're not likely gonna actually do the task. And that's part of like, I could totally relate to that because there's a lot of tasks that I'll want to do, but it's like, I know it's going to take me an hour. I think it's going to take me an hour, or I know it's going to take me 4 or 5 hours. And then I'm just like, how do I break it up into small sections? And then like, I know that 20 minutes can turn into 45 minutes and stuff. It's always like weird psychological stuff, but the brain like tries everything possible to keep us comfortable. And don't get me wrong, like not draining yourself every day is a good thing to work towards as well, but there's like a good type of effort, like energy use, and then there's kind that's like not productive. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like, if you just kind of, there's the bad type of busyness is what I call it, where you just kind of fill your day up with tasks that don't really amount to anything, or that, I mean, there's some things that probably need to be done and daily chores and stuff, but sometimes we just use it to procrastinate on the things we're supposed to do. And anyway, so having that idea, psychological trick with like, hey, maybe if it takes 2 minutes or less, then do it or something, or something like that, and then it takes the pressure off. because it's funny because the idea of thinking about doing it is way harder than actually getting to it. So it's just really crazy how much the brain fights so hard to keep us comfortable as much as possible, because it just doesn't want to put effort in and wants to keep us alive as much as possible. But like, being comfortable is, gosh, it is a silent killer, like sitting is. And I tend to I've always been battling with the comfort zone. I'm always battling it, and it's crazy how much that is just like an internal struggle going on. So, and the other tips he was saying that was, okay, of course, time blocking, scheduling a certain time in, but also habit stacking. So if you accomplish one habit and then you start applying other habits, and I was able to do this as well. Now I'm not always consistent, but it is something I'm like working towards. I think it's just kind of like, sometimes I think it's probably a lifelong, forever ordeal, but I guess as long as it's the things that we want to do, reach towards the goals that we have for ourselves, then that's what matters. But I think the hard part is like picking a goal and then like seeing like, is this really realistic? Because I've had so many goals that I've never followed through because I would be too unrealistic about it. And part of it is because I would put too much instead of like having just a little bit, and it feels like I'm not doing enough or something if I just do just like 5 minutes of the task or something like that, or all that. But what's weird is like, if I have a mountain of work and then I'm like, okay, I have one day to do all this work, and then I'll somehow find the time to get it all done. Like, I do it all at once, or like hardly at all for like a span of like a certain amount of time. But yeah, habits are funny like that, or tasks and goals and priorities and stuff. Well, it's really people that are, it's because our systems fail because we're running it overall. And okay, the other book that also changed my life, or that really helped with my productivity or some sort of goal to reach, was this book called Talent is Overrated. And I learned what deliberate practice was. And that was, deliberate practice can range from probably around an hour to 4 hours a day. Ideally 4 hours. And if you put in 10,000 hours into something, then you will be like, that is like amazing, I would say, baseline to get to be close to being the best, or at least high in your field. Because people that have done that are usually pretty high up there as far as like skill and things like that. I mean, yes, there's more to it. There's luck, and there's connections, and then there's promoting yourself as well with whatever you're trying to do. That, I think, is the hardest part, is promoting yourself, I think. And even if your skills are really good, it's just actually advertising what your skills are it is a whole nother like ball game for sure. And so, but yeah, and reading about some of these great people and how well they do the things that they do in their fields, I guess what I'm trying to say is, there was this football player that he mentioned. I don't remember his name. I think it was James Reed, but I don't know if that's his name. But he was one of the few like athletes that got to have a long career in a sport like that. And his workout was so brutal that they never released, I don't think they ever released his workout regimen. They might now, but That's because they were worried other people would try it and then get hurt. But yeah, he got to play in the football team until he was like 36 or something like that, which is a really long time. So, because I mean, athletics are a short career already, but man, that's just incredible. And then now Benjamin Franklin, what he would do is he would like write. He would get up at 4 a.m, but he would do like a lot of writing for the first couple hours in the morning, but he would also write them backwards. Not like the letters backwards, but just how, and I guess the topic points. And he also, just to make sure his writing was cohesive, I think. I don't really know how that works, but as far as writing. However, it definitely did very well for him, those techniques that he applied. And then the other book that I just read recently that's been a game changer it was kind of a little different than the other books, but this one's Slow Productivity, how to increase your productivity without burnout, which I think is just an absolute game changer because we do have this like hustle culture that keeps like, I don't know, psychologically nagging at us that we have to be productive all the time, no matter what. And even though like the intentions are good, like trying to be the best and be competitive, which is American culture, which is, I mean, there are good things, but problem is it's kind of in practice and at the everyday, it can be just a little bit overwhelming and also not quite realistic. Like I said, just working with your energy and not necessarily your time. But he had some really good points, and that was to actually schedule something relaxing right after you finish a big project. And occasionally I've done this, and when I did, it just really made me feel so much better. And also too, we also struggle with like feeling accomplished for the day. Like, you just feel like I didn't get enough done. Not really. Or I didn't get all this done. And so celebrating what we did accomplish. And so, but yeah, a lot of us, I think, and the most popular New Year's resolutions is like trying to be healthier usually. And I think that should be a bigger priority really anyways all year long. And the thing is, like, I am glad that I'm hearing more people saying like, don't wait till January to do the goals you want for yourself. Do it now. But yeah, we absolutely should. I think it's difficult to balance trying to be healthy versus trying to be the best at something. It's super difficult. But I do think it's possible, just because I guess I'm trying to say is like, you actually get healthier naturally when you're actually good at something, because then you already have something to work towards versus just not having a direction where you want to go. So, all right. So this is the lines that I'm creating for the sides of the ring. And I had to actually take quite a bit of time trying to get these lines right, because like, yes, one's small, one's big, but the way they overlap is like slightly different. So I had to really be careful with how this is gonna line up right. But yeah. And I really appreciate in that book, Slow Productivity, was how he really just talked about what he called knowledge workers. And they don't really apply to, I guess, the other type of, I guess what I'm saying is, I'm trying to think about, they're not the same as athletes or people that do one thing. Like, they're really just they create projects, which takes a lot of thinking power. So they're not like, yeah, with athletes, you can measure out a certain type of miles you're going to run or type of, yeah, and things like that. Just like how, or super repetitive tasks that require energy that way. Versus knowledge workers, it's a big project, requires so much more mental energy. But anyways, if you stay to the end, I appreciate your time, and the next video I'll be making these lines solid, and I'm going to be applying the design to the side of the ring. But anyways, I'll see everybody next time. Goodbye, and thanks for watching.